Hello, so we already have an update to the Colleen Ballinger story that I covered yesterday, and I have a few notes from watching her actual apology that she just, or her video title addressing everything that she just posted on her channel. I think it was today, this morning, and it was number one trending on YouTube pretty soon after it was uploaded, and now it's kind of number two, but it's gotten a lot of traction. So I wrote down a few notes that I wanted to share with you regarding her apology because it was actually really good. I thought it was. I have a few points here, but if you haven't watched it, go ahead over. It's on trending. I'm not even gonna link it because I don't want to send any. I think she clearly wants it to just go away, so I'm not even gonna send any more traffic to her. If you want it, you can find it in some way. But I just wanted to make sure that you knew that she did that. So anyways, a few things I want to talk about. One thing I talked about in my first video addressing this situation was regarding the thumbnail. I was inquiring if she was going to do a staged thumbnail where it's like her crying or whatever, or some like serious face. And it ended up being actually just kind of a random shot of a thumbnail of her just kind of like with a blank face or whatever. So it wasn't really like emotional. It wasn't really laughing or anything. It was just kind of in between, which I thought was really good, and it made it look like an authentic video. Second, she got to the point, straight to the point, saying, I'm addressing everything. A lot of things have been coming up, past videos of mine and a situation, and I want to address every single thing. So she systematically went through each thing, and if she needed to debunk a rumor, she brought receipts out, either a video of her and the person implicated in this, or something that showed the context behind it in a video form, whereas a lot of the things that have been coming out are in like tweets or in other context video that doesn't have really, you don't really know what the intent was behind her thing. So she addressed every single thing. It was very to the point. It wasn't emotional. She didn't cry. She didn't like break down in tears to try to get sympathy points. She went, okay, here's what's happening. You could tell she prepared and said, these are the things I need to address, and here's how I feel about them. I thought it was really good. She also took responsibility for everything, and she said it was a mistake interacting with a young fan of hers. She thought it was going well, the interaction, and when it started turning south, she took back control of that situation at the time. And clearly, and she said that there was some discrepancy between her recollection of events and the person who was implicated in it and their parent, and so she was very clear about that, and I thought that was really, really good. One thing I wanted to talk about was regarding the comment section, which I always like to go through in videos. I think you're probably the same way, where you, while you're watching or listening to a video, you're in the comment section kind of reading what people's thoughts are to see if anyone has the same thoughts as you, and is anybody has some juicy comments or maybe a little bit more information to add, or some people are maybe seeing the video in a different light than what you are seeing it in. And so that's why people, I think, love reading the comments. Of course, YouTube, like they do, they try to change things up. So if they know you are skipping straight through the comments and not seeing an ad or recommended, then they switch it and put the comments on top, which is what they've been doing as of late. And so what I wanted to say was one of the comments that stuck out to me was people comparing her apology to Jenna Marbles' apology, which I thought was a good comparison, because Jenna Marbles has only apologized, I think, once or twice, maybe. Once in regards to, I think it was her getting a pet fish, I think it was, or something like that. And people in the comment sections were saying she didn't care for the fish, she was treating it not the way it should have been treated or whatever. Also note, the sun is about to go down. I just filmed a video before this, and so that's why it looks like I'm a floating head, because if I put my lights on behind me, it glares into the camera. So just bear with me for right now. I don't usually film this late, but I was filming two videos. And so, what was I saying? Jenna Marbles' apology about her fish, and she, even though it seemed like it was a stupid thing to apologize for, the way she did it was she said, okay, here's how I was wrong, here's what I should have done, and here's some education for everyone else who may be in this situation in the future. Exactly what Colleen did. She said, here's what I did. I said these things in videos in the past with my sister. Here's why they were wrong, and I'm sharing this information to educate you and prevent this from happening in the future. I thought that was great. And I'm going to make a few more points, and then I will kind of leave off with a point of why I actually disagree with Colleen, which is not anything against her. It's just my personal view, but I like to kind of intersperse my personal feelings with this so you know where I stand on things, even though I am capable of being objective and kind of analyzing someone or something with as little bias as I possibly can, trying to see both sides, but really I do fall somewhere in the middle or leaning a little more towards one side. I think that's realistic. So one is I commented on Angelica's video that I was referencing to in my first video about this subject, and I stand by it. In that comment, I said how I thought Colleen was the predator in this situation because she was interacting with a minor fan of hers. And I stand by that not because I think she was trying to be a predator or trying to be a groomer, which she addressed in her video, Colleen did. I don't think she's a child predator or trying to groom children to be whatever. I think she was blinded by someone who could help her get more successful in a time when her Miranda Sings channel was not dying, but it wasn't as popular as it once was. And I think that goal blinded her from the fact that it was baseline wasn't a good thing to be interacting with an underage fan, even if her intentions were pure and good. And so, and she mentioned that how she likes to give fans opportunities to get some work or to give them a chance to work for her in some fashion. And so I thought that was a good point she talked about. I do think she was the predator in the situation, even though she wasn't trying to be, because of the simple fact that she was 30, maybe over 30, and the fan was a teenager, and the power dynamic, like Angelica talked about, just makes it to where it's almost impossible to have her be in the right in this situation, even if she had really good intentions. And one note I wrote down was, the law doesn't care if you are consenting or not. If you are over 18 and the person you are interacting with is under 18, there is a good chance you as the adult will get in trouble. I just want to leave it at that as far as addressing Colleen. Here's where I think she was wrong. I don't think... Actually, do I think she's wrong? Now that I'm thinking about this, I'm like, is she wrong? What I wanted to say was, I believe that if you shouldn't just apologize because you got caught. I think you should apologize if you truly don't think what you said was really who you are. I know she talked about how people change from when they're younger to when they're older, and I agree with that. But if there's truth to what you're saying and you believe that truth, you should own it 100%. If people are offended by what you said because of the way you said it, or because they didn't understand the context, even though your context wasn't like that, or whatever it may be, I think you shouldn't apologize in that case. But in the case of the underage fan, I think that is something she needed to address because it involves potential legal consequences, whereas saying whatever you want is protected under the law, at least in the United States. So I don't think apologizing for some of the things she apologized for was necessary, but definitely the situation with the underage fan, I think, was appropriate. And I think the other thing she maybe, I don't know, maybe she shouldn't have said she didn't feel that way, because clearly if you're saying those things, a lot of the things she was saying, they were taking it was supposed to be funny, but it wasn't really that funny, to be honest. And I think there's a way to go about it, addressing those hard topics relating to race and gender or whatever it is in a comedic way while saying how you feel and pushing the envelope, but doing it in a way that's not like offensive to people. So, or you have to offend everybody. Like really good comedians, they make fun of one group and then they make fun of the next and the next and the next, and they make fun of everybody. That way everybody is equally covered, and it's kind of like if you're offended, well, why aren't they offended? Or they're offended, but they're not, and they are, whatever. So I want to leave off on that. So thank you so much for watching and taking the time to hear me out. Now I want to hand it over to you and want you to let me know what you think on this subject. And if you haven't already and you're new here, make sure to subscribe, like this video, and like I said, head into the comments. I love chatting it up with you guys as I post. So thank you so much, and I will talk to you in the next video. Bye-bye.